Namaste children. How are you all? I hope you are fine. Be safe, stay home and take necessary precautions. While you are going out, please carry a mask and sanitizer. Now, myself, Ramana Reddy, and I am going to teach computer science. So, in the 5th class, the first lesson of computers is evolution of computers. Evolution of computers or the history of computers. In this lesson, we are going to discuss or deal with early calculating devices. Early calculating devices, generation of computers, future of computers, types of computers, characteristics of computers. So what we are going to study in this lesson? Early calculating devices, generation of computers, future of computers, types of computers and characteristics of computers. How computers have evolved. Modern computers are small, modern means now we are using, compact and complex and can perform many difficult tasks in just a few seconds. But computers were not always like this. They started off as a simple manually operated abacus and have gone through many changes. Let's trace their journey. Now what we are using, these computers are very small and they are compact, they are small in size and we can use those computers to perform many different difficult tasks in just a few seconds. But computers of olden days, the beginning days, they are not like what we are using this. And those days we started the computer with a simple manually operated abacus and later on it undergone many changes and now what we are using, these computers have evolved. Now from abacus, how these computers have evolved, we will discuss now. Early calculating devices. In early times, people used fingers, stones and bones for calculations. So what were used in the early time for calculating? Fingers, stones and bones. Later the Chinese developed abacus which helped in counting large numbers. So after using these fingers in the later stages, the first man-made machine which was developed by Chinese is known as abacus. What is the use of this abacus? Abacus is used to count the large numbers. The word abacus is taken from a Greek word named as abax, which means flat surface. Abacus is taken from a Greek word called abax, which means flat surface. So who developed this abacus? The Chinese people have developed this abacus around 500 BCE. And what is the use of this, or what is the purpose of abacus? It was the first calculating device with the beads and rods to count. See here, these are the beads and rods are there. Rods were there, and these beads we used to count the numbers. It is still used in many Asian countries to add, subtract, multiply and divide, to calculate fractions and square roots. So the abacus is the first calculating device which is developed by the humans. Who developed it is Chinese. What is the work which we can do by using the abacus? We can add or subtract, multiply and divide to calculate the fractions and square roots. Even in nowadays also this abacus are using in many Asian countries. Further development leads to the invention of different machines for calculation. From abacus, different machines were developed, which leads the first among the first device is Napier's bones. Napier's bones. John Napier invented a manually operated calculating device called Napier's bone. See the picture. This is the Napier's bone. So who developed this device, calculating device? It is John Napier. It consisted of rods made up of bones. That's why it is called Napier's bones. Ivory or metal with numbers written on them. So what it is consisting of? It is consisting or it is made up of bones, ivory or a metal with numbers written on them. It could perform multiplication and division. So what is the function of this Napier's bones? It could perform the multiplication and division. Later in the year 1942, Pascaline, Blaise Pascal, a famous physicist, he developed one more calculating device and named it as a Pascaline calculator. Pascaline calculator, in which year it is developed? In the year 1642. 1642. Who developed it is Blaise Pascal. The French philosopher and mathematician Blaise Pascal invented the mechanical calculating device called Pascaline in 1642. It could add, subtract and carry tens, hundreds and thousands between the digits. The first Pascaline could handle only 5-digit numbers, but later versions were able to handle 6 and 8-digit numbers as well. So the first developed Pascaline calculator can handle only 5-digit numbers, but later it developed and it can handle 6 digits and 8 digits. It is about Pascaline calculator. And later in the year 1822, Charles Babbage, a famous British mathematician, invented the difference engine. So after Pascaline calculator in the year 1822, Charles Babbage, a famous mathematician, British mathematician, invented one more device that is called difference engine. It could perform calculations and even print the results. What it does, it could perform, it can do the calculations as well as even it can print the results. So what it is consisting of, it was the one of the earliest automatic calculators, and it is designed for only mathematical operations and can do automatically. Who developed this difference engine? Difference engine is developed by Charles Babbage in the year 1822. In the later stages, in the year 1833, Charles Babbage began working on the first general purpose digital computer, which he called the Analytical Engine. He developed it in the year 1837. He started his work in the year 1833 and he developed a computer, digital computer, which he called as what? It is Analytical Engine, and he developed it in the year 1837. The machine consisted of 4 components, that is the mill, the store and the reader and the printer. What are the parts of the computer which he developed in the year 1837? It is Analytical Engine. The main components of this computer are the mill, the store means the storage device. The mill is nothing but what it is, a CPU, the reader and the printer. So who developed this Analytical Engine? Charles Babbage. That's why he is known as the father of computers. This Analytical Engine even can solve complex calculations including multiplication and division. The basic parts of the Analytical Engine resembled the components of a simple computer system. That is nothing but what it is. The mill is nothing but the CPU of present computer. The store, that is input and output devices, reader and printer are the 4 parts. So this is the history of computer, how the computer has evolved, or in the history of the computer from what it is developed from this Abacus to Analytical Engine. From this Analytical Engine, later on stages, now what we are using, these computers were developed. This is about the history of computers or the evolution of computer. Now we will discuss generation of computers. The computer has evolved from large-sided simple calculating machine to a smaller but much more powerful machine. Computers are classified or categorized or grouped into 5 generations. So how many generations are there in the computers? 5 generations were there. So each generation used a different technology. Let us discuss the characteristics of each generation. So the first generation of computers, it is from 1940 to 1958. So the first generation of computers, what is the period? It is 1940 to 1958. So what are the features of those computers? They used vacuum tubes. What is the material which they used? It is vacuum tubes, and they also used punch cards for input and output of the data, and the data is calculated in milliseconds. Then there is a they were working with a slow speed, and their storage capacity is also very small. They have very small storage capacity, and they are working with a slow speed, and they consumes large amount of energy. So these are the disadvantages of computers which were they used in the year 1940 to 1958. What were the disadvantages? They consume huge amount of energy, and they have less storage capacity, and they work with low speed. The examples of computers in the first generation are ENIAC, ENIAC. Between 1943 and 1946, the ENIAC, or the Electronic Numerical Integrator. So what is the full form of ENIAC? It is Electronic Numerical and Integrator and Computer. Developed by John Presper Eckert and John Maclean. So these are the two inventors who invented this computer. What is the name of this computer? It is ENIAC, and its full form is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. So what is the work it can do? It could process information, or it could calculate information 1000 times faster than the Mark 1. Here Mark 1 is also one of the computer developed before that, and it was developed by a famous scientist named as Howard H. Aiken. So Mark 1 is also an electronic calculator. It was invented by Howard H. Aiken. So the first computer, it is ENIAC, is 1000 times faster. It can do the calculations than the Mark 1. One more example of the computer in those days developed by the same scientist Presper Eckert and Maclean, John Maclean, that is UNIVAC. It is abbreviated as UNIVAC. The Universal Automatic Computer. Universal, UNIV, is nothing but universal. A stands for automatic and C stands for computer. The Universal Automatic Computer. It was the first commercial computer made in the United States. Which is the first commercial computer? It is UNIVAC. It contained thousands of vacuum tubes. How many vacuum tubes are there? It is 5,700 vacuum tubes are there, and used punch cards and switches to input, store and process the data. So these are the two computers which were developed in the first generation of computers. Now second generation of computers, it is the period is from 1959 to 1963. What are the features of the computers which were used in the second generation? They were smaller in size than the first generation of computers. So the first generation of computers, the size of the computers, it is very big. When we compare with the first generation of computers, the second generation of computers, their size is very small, and they used transistors instead of vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes were used in the first generation, whereas in the second generation, transistors are used, and they used punch cards and magnetic tapes for input and output of the data. Whereas in the first generation, what they used? Only punch cards were used to input and to take the output data. Here punch cards as well as magnetic tapes were used, and then they were faster, cheaper and more efficient than the first generation of computers, and they could complete the data in microseconds. In the first generation of computers, the calculations were completed in the milliseconds, but here it is microseconds, means it is faster than the first generation of computers. And the examples for second generation of computers are IBM 1400-01, RCA 501 and Honeywell 200. The three examples are there for second generation of computers. One, it is IBM 1400-01, RCA 501, Honeywell 200. Now the third generation of computers.